Hey there, this is Elena. Thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for watching. If this is your first video, I help people with moving to Costa Rica. So if that sounds like you, then you are in the right place. And today we're going to talk about some misconceptions that I'm lost that you might hear for people moving to Costa Rica. So where am I right now? I'm here actually at our expat retreat. If you don't know what that is, it is a week-long event that I host along with other YouTuber Michael Allen. We host these twice a year. I'm very lost right now. It's okay. And yeah, we host these. It's a good venue, lovely, amazing hotel. We get everyone together. All we do all week is talk about moving to Costa Rica. We have really great seminars. We have guest speakers come in. The people do a lot of amazing fun activities. We're in the hot springs. It's really awesome. It's such a fun week, and I couldn't ask for it to go any better. This week has been absolutely incredible so far, and we're only on day 2. So let's get into some misconceptions of moving to Costa Rica. I do a lot of calls every week with people who are considering moving to Costa Rica. So I kind of hear a lot of the questions that they have, and a lot of them has to do with, okay, maybe with safety. Is it dangerous? Is it just a bunch of retirees there? Is it raining all the time? Are people always going to be trying to scam me because I'm a gringo living in another country? Can I get around without using Spanish? So I'm just going to go over maybe a few of like the top ones. So a lot of people ask, of course, about the weather. They're like, is it just, they're thinking, okay, we're going to Central America. It just must be hot everywhere. Like, we're getting close to the equator. It must just be so hot in Costa Rica. It's probably could be, unmanageably hot. It really depends where you're going in the country. So if you're going to be up in Guanacaste, yeah, it does get into the low 90s. It can get pretty hot. But then, of course, it's very relative. I work with a lot of people that are coming from Arizona or Texas. And when I talk to them about the weather on the coast here, that we're usually in the mid to low 80s where I live in the Central Pacific, and it kind of rains like as if you're in Florida. It's just kind of, those tropical rain showers. Usually people are, oh, yeah, that's a breath of fresh air from where we're coming from. We're in the hundreds. So, that's definitely very relative. There are a lot of places you can live in Costa Rica where it honestly feels like springtime. It feels like springtime weather all year round. I'm a beach girl, but I can say I do love the mountains. I love the springtime weather. And you can find, like I said, like a climate that feels good to you. Like, don't get rid of those sweatpants and those, fuzzy socks and those sweatshirts, because there's definitely parts of Costa Rica that you will be needing those. Another misconception that you might be thinking, let's see, well, I was talking to someone here at the retreat, and he said that a year ago, he never would have expected that he would ever go to Costa Rica. He thought that, it's one of those places that you go and someone's going to chop your head off or something. I don't remember what he said. We're not going to quote him on that. But, some people might have this misconception that it's just so dangerous, or especially when I'll talk to people and they say, oh yeah, like we'll tell our family and our friends that we're moving to Costa Rica, and they're just like, oh my God, no, it's so dangerous there. Like, you can't move there. Like, the thing is, you have to be smart here like you would anywhere in the world. Of course, you're going to see stories online. There are crime groups. There is crime here. A lot of it's petty theft, but there can be some, actual, major crime here as well. It typically isn't going to affect your average person. For me, I like that, we don't have to worry about mass shootings here or anything like that. But yeah, so your average crime, I would say, you just do your due diligence just like you would anywhere in the world. You should be able to avoid things from happening. But of course, anything can happen just like anywhere in the world. So no, Costa Rica is not the most safest place in the whole wide world to go be in, but I don't really know anywhere that totally is, because I guess anything can kind of happen anywhere. So just do your due diligence as you would anywhere in the world. Just know that, just because you're moving to paradise, you still need to be on alert. You still need to do, things that you would normally do anywhere you are. Keep an eye on your stuff. Don't just do the little things. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can do preventative. There's a lot of things you can look at in a property to make sure that you're secure. Just do the due diligence up front, picking a safer area. Of course, there's some areas that are going to be safer than others, and you should be fine. But, Costa Rica is not this crazy place where, it's just so dangerous. Some people might have that misconception. Another misconception is that it's so expensive. Maybe you've seen on the groups, oh no, Costa Rica's gotten so expensive. We can't live there. It's terrible. That's another thing that's kind of relative, and it just really depends on the person's habits. So I'm going to be coming out, if I may have already come out with it by the time you're watching this video, with a budgeting webinar, because budgeting just seems to be a really big question mark, and people have a hard time putting together a realistic budget for themselves, especially in the area that they want to live. because I see a lot of online of how much do I need to live in Costa Rica, and you'll have people say you need $1,200, and you'll tell people you need $12,000. So it just really depends on you and your lifestyle and where you want to live, how you eat. There's so many factors that it depends on that. So yeah, you will have some people come down, and if they're trying to replicate parts of their lives, they might say, yeah, Costa Rica is expensive. Cars are expensive, but it's not that there are so many ways that you can live here on a budget, and you can live pretty nice and live on a potentially on less than where you're coming from. Of course, it really depends on where you're coming from. We have people that are coming from New York, they're coming from California, coming from parts of Florida, Texas, where things are a lot more expensive. So whenever they move here, they are going to see that things are a lot cheaper. We have a lot of Canadians who move here. So again, things being cheap or expensive can also be relative to where you're coming from. Let's say if you're coming from some rural area, of North America, or maybe somewhere else, yeah, maybe you want to move to the beach areas of Costa Rica, then it can be more expensive. Absolutely. Cars are more expensive. So there's certain things that are more expensive in Costa Rica, but then there's also a lot of things that are actually cheaper in Costa Rica, a lot cheaper. So that's kind of cool. Like, actually, I think like taking care of yourself, things are cheaper. So I have some videos about that on my channel as well, about, what things are more expensive in Costa Rica, what things are cheaper in Costa Rica. So you can find those. But it's definitely a misconception that I've heard. It's like, oh, Costa Rica is just so expensive. It just, again, it's all relative. It depends how you plan on living. The last one we're going to go through today before I head back and probably might hop in the thermal pools with our guests. It sounds pretty good. Some hot spring time, pool bar action. The last one I want to discuss is everyone's out to scam you. Sometimes I get emails from just some people who've been burned pretty bad in this country. For sure. I mean, it sounds like they've been really burned. I think that we also have our people who've really been burned. Some of them have their own responsibility in that maybe they just don't want to recognize. And of course, that just kind of depends on the situation. But no, not everyone out in this country is here to scam you. Not everyone's out to take your money. There are actually a lot of really good people. You can easily get scammed by another gringo here, or someone, another person who's moved here from another country, as well as a native here. I mean, their scams are literally everywhere in the world. So you have to do your due diligence. Anything that involves bigger money, do your due diligence. Make sure you're working with the right people. That's what we do. We try to help, protect people from those types of things. But no, not everyone here is out to scam you. That can be a misconception too. Okay, well, I'm going to head on back down. I'm going to go see what everyone else is up to. I appreciate you sticking around. I appreciate you listening to this video, listening to some of the tips. And if you're kind of new to this channel, there's tons more on this channel. There's a lot of free stuff, a lot of free information for you to digest. If you can't tell already, this is absolutely my passion. This is the only thing that I do. I have an amazing team that backs me up in all the work that we do as well as a relocation company. So if you are thinking about taking a scouting trip and you want help with planning it, we do that. Or if you want help with your relocation, or if you want to come join one of our retreats, check out the links below and we'll be happy to help you. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.